So my name's Leeanne Hampton. I'm the Councillor for the Wiradjuri Region in New South Wales. I cover 21 land councils. I'm a very proud Wiradjuri Ngiyampaa woman, born and bred in West Wyalong. When the river system's at its worst, it affects people's, I guess, belief and their connection and their knowledge to what they know, what they've learnt. So it's that disconnect that they feel from all those stories once that disappears, once that water disappears. We use obviously a lot of plants culturally for medicines, for bush tucker. They're obviously affected when there's no water, when we're in a drought. We can't use them for the purposes that traditionally they were available for, which then in turn creates issues for Aboriginal people if they have been using these traditional plants in regards to medicine, your stomach bugs, your skin conditions. The fact that we have introduced species living, like the native plants are just being completely inundated by the introduced species along the river, and the willow tree, for instance, is one of those species. They choke up the river system, and they actually they grow quite quickly along the river system. So it's affecting all of the water flows down the lower region of the rivers. In choking it up, it's not filtering naturally either. So that affects the wildlife that uses the waterways as well. One of the introduced species in the Lachlan, the Murrumbidgee and the Macquarie is the European carp. They breed very quickly. They feed in all parts of the river, so they're not isolated to one area. They eat a lot of the native fish, and they breed in numbers that are quite significant. So once they're all together, they're muddying up the water. The water's not as clear as it used to be. So they've really affected the proper use and the actual natural flows of the river as well. We need to try and balance the use of the water. I know we have the farmers rely on the water. We have pastoralists. We have the big industries that use a lot of irrigation. We all need to survive in the current climate. So I think it's about making sure we have those conversations to try and find a balance. I think it's about us being proactive and letting our voices, or providing the opportunity, I guess, for our voices to be heard. Government can see that we actually are passionate about the fact that Aboriginal people rely on the river systems being healthy and having access to clean water. I guess I'd like to ask community to educate themselves and to reconnect to your culture, to learn about why, especially the younger generations. I mean, I can sit here as an emerging elder. I wouldn't class myself as an elder yet, but as an emerging elder, just really encourage the younger generations to get involved in land rights, in your water rights. Learn why it's so important as an Aboriginal person to have that connection to your culture. And whether that be through a land council or through visiting a community and having conversations with the elders that are out there. We need to instill that pride. We need to instill that knowledge of our culture to continue the fight for justice and the fight for our land rights, the fight for our water rights. To me, education is just such an integral part of culture as well.